Wokeness Gone Wild. The CDC releasing new guidance appearing to encourage men identifying as the opposite sex to breastfeed. Published right now on their website, quote, transgender and non-binary gendered individuals may give birth and breastfeed or feed at the chest. Then there's this. Portland is now telling city employees to avoid mentioning the term pregnant women to be more culturally conscious. And on college campuses, the University of Cincinnati deciding to take back its punishment on one of its professors who failed a student for using the term biological women in an essay. This is what the professor told the student after giving her a 0 on the paper.
I was told that I was contributing to TERF ideology, which should be the only version of feminism. And then I was told that sex is not defined at birth and it's not like a science thing.
The school is removing its reprimand from the professor's file, saying it was issued in error. So how far will this all go? Across the pond in the United Kingdom, it is now considered child abuse if parents don't pay for their kids' gender transition surgery or refuse to call their children by their preferred pronouns. That means family members could be prosecuted under the law. Well, Charlie, when you and I were in the green room, we chose straws, and I got the short one and had to talk about chest feeding. And you said, I'm glad that's not me.
You just said the word.
I know. I said I'm not going. Well, look, what do you think of these? Right. You don't have to do the top story. If you don't want to talk about it, you can go to the professor.
I know. I really want to hear what the doctor has to say about it.
Let's do that.
This is going to be really fascinating. But I'd like to say something now and then after she has something to say.
Okay, Dr. Nicole Sapphire.
Oh, he's waiting for me. Oh. So first of all, when people start talking about non-binary, binary, transgender and everything, I get confused. So I'm certain other people get confused. So let's just break down what they're actually saying. The CDC has recently updated their website to essentially say that people who are born a man, if you identify as being a woman, you can try and breastfeed your babies. And they are actually showing that there are protocols where a man will take anti-testosterone hormones, they'll take estrogen and progesterone hormones to try and make their body more feminine, and then to try and stimulate the mammary glands, which all men are born with. That is why men get breast cancer as well. 1% of all breast cancers actually happen in men. They try and stimulate that with certain medications. The most common one is one that's not even approved in the United States because of safety risks, and it does produce some milk in some people. And now they have about a handful or less than a handful of case reports showing that with this cocktail of medications that some men who consider themselves women have been producing milk. Now, only one actually reported enough milk to feed their baby for 6 weeks. The other ones did not. But the big issue comes, what's the safety of all this? I mean, so if you scroll on that same webpage, they say, can women with breast implants safely breastfeed their baby? The first line, there's just not enough research on whether they can safely do it or not. But yet women with breast implants have been breastfeeding their babies for decades. And how can you say there's not enough research? You have millions of women who have been doing this. Yet when you go to that, they say, hey, can these people now breastfeed? The answer, it just starts out, yes, they can. Forget the fact that the most common anti-testosterone medication they take has a breastfeeding and pregnancy safety index of C, which means it is not indicated, it is not safe, there's been no human safety trials. And some of these other medications to help produce the breast milk, also there's zero safety data on it. How can you tell me this is safe?
And who are we helping here? Are we helping the dude who's confused, or are we helping the child who needs to be fed?
Ultimately,
and if if you're running a dairy farm and you're having your dairy cows are giving birth to calves, you're not going to put the calves in with the bulls and call it a day. Your entire herd is going to die. I don't know why we're doing all this. It's a problem that's not. It is a non-existent problem that doesn't need to be fixed, and we're fixing it in order to satisfy people who are very confused and have problems. But if you're telling me that you have to give them medicine and chemicals in order for them to feel like they are chest feeding a child, I think you need to get one of those things that Robert De Niro gets in that movie Meet the Fockers, get one of those.
Molly,
is that the "Can you milk me"
Yes.
Where you're going?
Yeah.
Is that where?
Wait, do you think this is the time, Molly, for the CDC to be doing this kind of stuff? Don't they need to rebuild their reputation that they destroyed over the last 3 years?
Yeah, well, it's funny. When I was pregnant during the pandemic, and the CDC had advised that you talk to your provider, your OB/GYN, regarding getting the vaccine or not getting the vaccine, but they didn't take a hard stance on it, at least until after I had already given birth. So I was at one of those multitude of women across the country that didn't feel like the guidance was particularly straight on, and went and talked to my OB/GYN, and we had a conversation. I ultimately decided to get the vaccine, but I never felt like the guidance was clear until far later. So, and which is kind of what I'm seeing here, is the guidance doesn't seem to be particularly clear. And the defining of this in general and having the conversation about it becomes so much more challenging when you talk about what chest feeding is, because it can quite literally mean different things to different people. And there are people who were born female who live their lives as males who then might go on to try to breastfeed, chest feed, and could potentially need some hormonal help to get things started. And I have a lot of sympathy for people that have challenges with breastfeeding in general and support them. The end.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.